Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. God, that's a lot of words. How about TMNT MM? It's a new Ninja Turtles movie. The Turtles films have gone through quite a varied amount of mediums and directions throughout the years, and this time we have a project backed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. The pairing behind Superbad, The Interview, Pineapple Express, and even The Sausage Party. So I was kind of curious to see what they could really do with a Turtles film. Simply put, we follow the Turtle brothers who, in an effort to become accepted by humanity, attempt to stop a band of mutants from destroying New York City. It's a pretty simple concept. You probably know what you're going to be in for story-wise. But I think there are three key factors which I think help make this iteration stand out amongst the others. The first and the obvious one being the new animation style. I've heard a lot of people saying it's a copy of Into the Spider-Verse sort of animation, and I think it's pretty disingenuous to label it as that. While Spider-Verse was looking at bringing comic book pages to life, this film almost felt like crayon drawings. It's deep in colour but also really rough around the edges, giving it this real visual charm. You look at things like lighting and you see the scribbling effect as if it was just hand drawn on paper. It then kind of just feeds into this stop motion sort of movement. Nickelodeon Movies did a great job of making this feel like a really unique form of presentation, which I don't think is fair to label it as a copycat. It can sometimes feel chaotic in all the action going on, but thankfully they made the choice of keeping the turtles more crisp compared to the other characters and environments so they're easier to follow. But aside from watching those four, it can sometimes feel a bit much going on. But it's great to see a variation in animation amongst other films. I think the less we stick to your bog standard Disney smooth animations, the better. The other two factors kind of come hand in hand, and that is essentially the turtles themselves, and this really being for the new generation. I don't know if we're on like Gen Z or Alpha or what we are at the moment, but this really does feel like a young person's game, mainly because of the dialogue. But I think that's rightly so. It's a family film for parents and kids alike, and the chemistry between the Turtle brothers and the carnage in their interactions, they really do come across like a group of kids in this day and age. So maybe expect a lot of phrases which may potentially go over your head, and a lot of pop culture references too. Probably could have done with a bit less of that really, purely because it felt like the film was relying on those to get you to laugh sometimes. Really wasn't doing itself any justice. But the four brothers are absolutely great here from a design perspective, and they're amazingly voiced too. I'm not really familiar with any of these guys, but you could tell they were having a great time together. And I think a lot of the charm of the film is from just seeing the four of them being stupid kids and occasionally kicking ass whilst doing so. There's a truckload of other voice actors too, but I think the other noticeable ones are Jackie Chan as Splinter, who I think does a really great job, although you can tell he's reading off punchlines which are almost meant for a comedian, where I think Jackie Chan works more when he has sincerity. Paul Rudd has a couple of funny moments as the Gecko, and then Ice Cube as the villainous Superfly really stands out here too. None of the voice work was bad, and whilst the characters are interesting, it did feel like there were maybe a bit too many of them. Could have maybe taken 2 or 3 out just to keep it a bit more focused, but honestly not the biggest deal. That's kind of it with this one. I think this is one older kids will enjoy more, not necessarily young kids. However, I was sat next to a family with 2 children who are, I don't know, maybe between 3 and 5, and for the most part they were pretty engaged still. I think a lot of the adult entertainment will come from the art side of the film, as well as the occasional punchline mixed into the writing, though you will have to filter through a lot of younger kids slang to get there. I'd recommend it though, especially if you're needing a film for the kids this summer. I think it's mostly a good time for all ages. It's out today, so let me know if you're going to go see it, and if you've seen it already, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, feel free to like and subscribe and all that, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.